Talk, hosted by Rabbit Chip 805. It's Paranormal Thursday, where we talk about UFOs and doppelgangers, the afterlife and beyond, science breakthroughs, paranormal research, the parallel universe. It's Paranormal Thursday, hosted by Rabbit Chip 805 on Real Talk.
This is Rabbit Chip 805 playing Planet Base on the PlayStation 4 through YouTube, Real Talk Chimp. And today is Thursday, February 13th, 2020, and we are talking all about the paranormal. We're going to be bringing conspiracy to the tip of the penis. I mean the head. The head is what I meant to say. We are going to talk about science fiction, horror, video games, and whatever happens to tickle our totem poles. And joining me today is the Chimp Dimp. Chimp Dimp,
hello?
There you go.
Yeah.
And also joining me today is the Master Debating Monkey. Hello. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
And the Brack Dragon Ruru.
Konnichiwa.
The Black Dragon Ruru.
Should be home soonish.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. And Midget Panda 815 is on the stream and she says she's babysitting and should be home soonish.
Babysitting. Oh.
Oh.
I also like to sit on babies.
Who doesn't, right? Come on. Baby sharks.
I hope.
Do. No, fuck you! God damn it!
I knew it was going to stay in your brain on the 515 train. Speaking of trains, Master Debating Monkey, are you there? Hello, stranger. Speak to us from the great beyond. All right, Master Debating Monkey has fallen in the toilet or something. I don't know. Chimp Dimp, you had a story for us. Let's hear it.
Oh, okay. So I'm playing this game called White Day, a labyrinth named school. Basically, during the day, the high school is like a normal high school. At night, there's all these demons and shit and ghosts. And so I started playing this back in December of 2019 when I bought it. It was like $6. Well, I was hiding from the school's janitor because he's a ghost and he wants to kill me. So I was hiding in the bathroom. I thought I was safe. The lights were off. But I didn't know that when the lights are off in the school, all the ghosts that want to kill people, they come out to play. So I kept hearing this weird noise. I opened the freaking bathroom stall, and what do I see in front of me?
No, I hear you.
It's a hobo taking a shit.
No, a ghost with a fucking parrot knife with red glowing eyes. That scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh shit. And then it proceeded to stab me to death.
When I was younger, I used to hear some shit bump around in my closet. And, as I got older and I discovered what masturbation was, one day I just heard it and I was like, you know what? I got this shit. I threw the covers off of it and just started jacking off right there in the open. I didn't know who was going to be more scared, the ghost or I.
Well, the ghost. Why didn't the ghost just join in?
You know, PDA is a weird thing. It makes everyone feel weird.
Or does it now?
It only feels weird when you're not the one doing the PDA.
Public Defender's Authority? Puppets doing acid?
Is this some sort of porn genre by any chance?
Public display of affection. I got it. Hey,
Work.
what was a
She was supposed to get off at 6:30 at 4:30. She was in her last movie. Is that Deer Slayer?
Yes. Midget Panda Deerslayer is in the audio party with us right now. Did you hear Deerslayer? Did you hear Midget Panda over the stream? Are you able to hear the robotic voice?
I'm not watching the stream.
Well, of course you're not.
I was just texting her a minute ago.
Okay. There you go, Panda. He explained everything. Whoa, that was a meteor that just crashed somewhere. Where did that thing crash? Where did that thing
HII.
HII. Oh, hi. She says hi.
Hi, Panda.
Master Debating Panda, are you still here? Master Debating Panda.
Hello.
I just called him Master Debating Panda. Oh my god, what is that horrid sound? Hey, Chimp, what was the name of the game that you were playing?
It's called White Day, a labyrinth named school.
A labyrinth.
I'm playing it right now.
A labyrinth. Labyrinth
Yeah, I'm playing it
or
right
labyrinth?
now. Yeah,
I don't know what labyrinth is.
The word you just said. My bad.
Labyrinth. Oh, okay. Which
Yeah.
means a maze or a big puzzle. Labyrinth. Okay. When did that game come out and who makes it?
I don't know. I have to look in the store.
Like the David Bowie movie, Labyrinth?
That was a bitchin' movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
They made a David Bowie movie?
Yeah, David Bowie was in a
Should
movie
I
called
message her and ask
It
how
came
long
out
she is
in
gonna be away?
2018.
Like about David Bowie, but he was.
Panda, if you've been working a 10-hour shift babysitting, that doesn't sound right. I mean, normally you babysit for like a few hours while people go and run errands. But if they've been gone for 10 hours, it sounds like these people took off to Fiji or Maui and they ain't never coming back and they've abandoned their kids with you. That sounds like a conspiracy to me.
Not gonna lie, that's
Panda.
exactly what I was thinking when she
I
told me
mean,
about
right, Dear Slayer? These people have been gone for 10 hours. They're not coming back. They don't give a shit. They're gone. Panda, those are your kids now, and I hope their house is cool because these people have gone through the Bermuda Triangle or Bermuda Triangle, however you would like to tomato that. So on that note, was there a master debating monkey here?
Nobody expects the penis inquisition. I mean, Spanish. Fuck!
Warning. Explicit language. You have been warned.
Shit, bitch, ass, cunt, pussy licking, motherfucker.
Now, I will tell you this. This is an adult stream, and I'm going to tell you as a professional, I never fucking cuss or swear. So god damn it, go fuck yourself. I'm just telling you right now, you will never hear anything potty mouth relation come out of this mouth.
Oh, he's asshole daddy.
Although I did say come out of this mouth, and that probably is pretty dirty. I know there's a master debating monkey in here. I'm just not 100% sure he's alive on this planet at the moment.
You're not able to hear me?
I can just barely hear you.
There's something going on here.
You guys hear him, right? Just barely, or?
Yeah, same, barely.
She works at the theater I work at and they tend to keep people there past their out time.
Makes sense. Okay. But
Oh, it didn't say
this is a young adult you're working for, I take it, or is this adults that you're taking or something?
I could work either one. Just name it.
We have lost the chimp. I repeat, we have lost the chimp.
Damn it, Chimp went away again.
He either crashed, or let me see. Chimp, did you lose connection? Where did you go?
No, he's not back.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens here. So
Can you hear me better now?
I hear you, but there's a lot of noise in the background,
Maybe it's the TV.
which has the potential of happening with me losing my last stream with the YouTube and shit that came on and the music.
Oh, okay. I see.
I am babysitting a 1-year-old.
Yeah, no, my son got my phone last time and somehow adjusted the accessibility settings, and it wouldn't let me shut it down. So I had to pull
Your son's a hacker?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I mean, he
The
stole my
girl who
phone. Maybe
works
it's a
with
thief.
me is like my age.
Oh, okay, Pam.
Something in that nature. What about now? Can you hear me good?
I hear you fine. It's just a lot of background noise.
That can't be me. There's no background noise here.
Turn down the sensitivity.
It's
said,
more of an echo than background noise.
right? Echo, exactly, echo. Kind of.
Oh, they hear the TV.
Oh, this probably is a bad TV right here. Well, I guess I could get another mic.
I mean, the microphone sounds great. It's just there's an echo and a kind of
Well,
like
the thing is, with the PlayStation camera, it sits on top of the TV, so you're probably hearing the noise from the TV.
okay, and picking everything up. It's obviously not a unidirectional microphone. Microphone, I've started to attack like this.
UCS on here
It's
way.
about that time, mate. Yeah,
It seems like it's tea time here. It's weird. Every time I try to speak human, things change in my brain. I don't know why. But today we're going to talk about conspiracies because that word seems to be being flung around quite a lot lately.
It's thrown around pretty freely.
Pretty freely. Specifically, I don't like to get into politics or religion, as you can probably imagine. However, being that this is a paranormal, a theological, a sociological, a pornographic, whatever station we are, we like to talk about all kinds of things. And when I flip on the news to get news, all I hear is, the president was talking conspiracy theories today. Really? You know, every president. Let's go. I mean, we can go back to Kennedy and say that conspiracy. Look how Kennedy was killed. They still, to this day, think all of that was a conspiracy. Multiple shooters.
Hey, everybody's still talking about 9/11 being a demolition job.
Oh,
It was actually Kennedy's wife.
Kennedy's wife did 9/11?
No. Kennedy's wife shot Kennedy.
From
No,
inside
she did
the
that
car?
in 69.
Kennedy was 69ing while he got shot by his wife? Wait, what?
Something like that, yeah.
Dude, that was crazy. I was at 25 health the whole entire time I was fighting these two guys.
9/11 was an inside job.
Well, okay, give me your theory behind it there, Black Dragon.
Well, I would love to.
Okay.
Let's say you have something massive, like, I don't know, a giant fucking airplane, okay? And you fly it into the side of a building. Now, let's say the building is structurally sound. If you fly it into the top, you got a lot of mass hitting it from one specific side. So even if it does take out a lot of support, when you go to chop down a tree, what happens? You start cutting it from one side. Where's the tree gonna fall?
Well, does anybody hear it, first of all?
No, fuck that. Okay, we're not worried about that debate.
Oh, okay.
If you start cutting a tree from one side, where does it fall?
Depends on what side you cut it from.
Exactly, but where does it fall when you start cutting it?
In the forest?
The opposite direction of where you were hitting it from.
The direction of where you're hitting it from, and why is that?
Yeah, Kennedy had two shooters. His head went two different directions. I know.
Bitch, we're talking about 9/11.
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah, all those people
Take your
jumping out, they're
goddamn Adderall, sir.
"Infrastructures."
Anyway, when you start chopping a tree down, it's going to fall in the direction you're cutting it from because it doesn't have any more support in
That's
that
what I said.
direction. So, whenever these planes are flying into the size of these massive fucking buildings, you'd think the top of those buildings would fall over and hit other buildings, because they lose support up there at those higher floors. But no, they fall within on themselves. That's a controlled demolition there. Also, jet fuel can't melt steel beams, but you know what can melt steel beams? Thermite.
Thermite.
And there was a shitload of thermite residue found in the basement.
Right. And do you also remember, I don't know if you guys remember because you may have not been born yet, but in 1993, there was a vehicle that drove into the one of the Trade Center buildings in the parking structure and detonated and took out a couple of floors. That was supposed to be 9/11 back in 1993. Okay, so if you look that one up, which also was in the same realm as the Oklahoma bombing, and try that, but they considered that homegrown terrorism.
Yeah, everyone wants to talk about 9/11 though, but we're not talking about the real facts though. The dude that owned the Trade Center buildings, right? after that shit happened, actually, like a couple of weeks before it happened, he filed for a what do you call it? An insurance claim. You
Alright,
know,
guys, I'll be back on later, so bye.
All right, dear Slayer.
he had filed for an insurance claim on one of the buildings, which ended up being like $2 billion or something. But by the time all the shit happened, 2 airplanes flew into both of the buildings, and he went back and changed it into 2 billion. You know, got it to go as 2 separate occasions. So therefore, he ended up walking away with like a little over 4.5 billion fucking dollars from that. Okay, and then just a few blocks away, there was a CIA safe house that just randomly burst into flames that had all kinds of information on some other shit that I can't remember what exactly was in there at the moment. But no one wants to talk about that.
What about the other buildings that fell down other than the two buildings themselves? There were buildings like that were blocks away that were destroyed as well, and no debris was anywhere near them. But somehow, magically, mysteriously, those buildings came down as well.
It's a scheme. It's a setup by the government, man.
Well, you can go to the Pentagons as well. They say they have, something hit their building, a plane or whatever it was, but yet you see the footage and you can't see nothing in the footage. All you see is the side of the building blow out.
And they can't talk about anything because it's the Pentagon, and the Pentagon is highly classified with the DEA, the FBI, the CIA, whatever else happens to be there, the aliens,
The
know,
MDMA.
the MDMA.
Yeah, they're probably there too. Those big guys from, what's that movie?
Men in Black?
No, the big guys from Prometheus, they're in the building too.
Prometheus?
Yeah, the sequel to, well, it's kind of a spin-off of Alien. It's kind of a canon, though. It's part of the
Oh, right,
movie series.
Prometheus. Oh, my God, I forgot about that movie. I
Don't
did
you
see
know?
that movie in the movie theater, right? That was hella crazy weird. Hella crazy weird. Okay, so, but we will never get the truth. I mean, they say that they hold. I'm trying to. Ooh, meteor crashed over here. Look at that. Meteor just slammed into the
So,
ground.
Rabbit, tell me this.
Okay, yeah,
Do you think we evolved from monkeys?
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I think you evolved from a monkey. I'm a chimpanzee.
Yeah, there is a difference.
I think. Well, I know we all evolved from. I don't know who the fuck knows. I mean, according to the Bible, that is like what 3,000 years old or 5,000 years old.
Yeah,
We
that
came
retard.
from Adam and Eve, so we never came from apes or monkeys. So
Yeah, her dumbass ate the apple.
yeah, her dumbass ate the apple and just fucked it all up for everyone else,
I sure hope Adam slapped her ass.
right? So Black Dragon ruler. According to you, you're a black dragon, and what do you rule over? Panda?
The dragon's flying around. The dragon's
Although I
flying
could,
around. He's like, I can see down your shirt.
I could have called him Black Dragon Panda, like I called you Master Debating Panda by accident.
Yeah, I'll be whatever you want me to be. Just let me know.
Right, Master Debating Panda. I think the Deer Slayer and the Panda have gone a separate direction and left us. That's fine.
Well,
The Chimp Dimp has disappeared off the face of the earth as well.
yeah, we lost the chimp.
And the Chimp Dimp had a conspiracy story for us. I'm going to try to get him back in the audio, so we're going to go black for just a moment here. And let's try to get him back on the mic here, unless he is completely offline. Then he is playing White Day, a labyrinth named School. That is strange but interesting. Right? Yeah. All right. Here we go. All right. I have sent the Chimp Timp an invite once again, and we should be getting the stream to pop back up online here in just a moment. There it goes. Okay, good. What happened, Chimp?
Welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I just left.
You didn't like that one voice. Well, that one voice is left, so you don't have to worry about it now.
Oh no. I had to do some things in my house.
I see. Well, you had a conspiracy story you were going to tell us about.
Oh, okay. This one you may or may not have heard of. Okay, so this has to do with what do you call it? A 9/11. So basically, after
I
the
beat
planes.
ya.
Oh, he beat me. What are you talking about?
Just
Well,
keep
anyway,
going. Just keep going.
Maybe he has something else to say though.
Okay, you know how after the planes hit the Twin Towers, there's a conspiracy that says that the guy that owns the rights to the building, he somehow knew that the tower was going to get hit, so he put like
beat you to it.
he got a multi-billion dollar
Right.
insurance on it. So, and one of the things that said in the contract was if it got hit by planes and collapsed, he could rebuild however he wants to. And then a week later, the building somehow came down, because of the planes.
Yeah, Black Dragon actually talked about that while you were AFK, so he beat you to it. Yeah, he did. He actually talked about that, which was interesting. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit more. Is it just not a talked about thing, or is it an absolutely 100% that
I
this
just think
actually
it's
occurred?
coincidence. No, it's a fact that he did get insurance covering plane crash.
A week before.
It's a fact. Whether he knew about it, I don't know.
Think about the other tallest buildings in New York City before the Twin Towers. Were there is the Empire State Building taller than the Twin Towers?
It used to be at one point.
Okay, so it would make
No.
sense. No, okay.
Yeah, the Empire State Building's not taller than Twin Towers.
When they were building it, at one point it was built bigger, but it's not. It's smaller now because the Twin Towers was bigger. But when they were making it, yes, it was big.
So, of all the tallest buildings in New York City, the tallest buildings were the Twin Towers, or were there other buildings? I know that in Chicago it's the Sears Tower, but we're not talking about Chicago. We're talking about New York City.
At that point, the Twin Towers were the biggest of all of them.
So then it would make sense that something would crash into it eventually. Be it a commercial plane almost struck that building as well. There was a scare years before 9/11 that not a commercial airplane but a regular Cessna type plane, the smaller type propeller planes, would crash into it, or there'd be a fog bank or something, and they didn't have the air ground guidance. So it is entirely acceptable that somebody would want to have insurance on their building in case something were to fly into their building. That makes sense, right? But a week before 9/11, yeah, a week before 9/11, nah, yeah. Just like the Big Lebowski, if you remember the Big Lebowski, in the movie the guy signs the check September 11th, 2001. In the Big Lebowski, do you remember that? That was an Easter egg in the film.
Yep.
And fascinating, right? That would be an Easter egg. But again, the Twin Towers had the previous 9/11 attack, but it didn't bring down the buildings like that. But it was the same type of detonation as the Oklahoma bombing, and yet I don't know who the culprits were on that one, if that was Pakistani or if that was Iraqi or if that was whatever it was. But didn't 9/11 turn out to be Saudi Arabians that did that, and it was not?
It was a mixture of Saudi Arabians. One guy was from Egypt. There's a whole bunch. You got to look it up on Wikipedia.
Right, and were they Taliban? Were they ISIS? Were they?
Well, officially they said they were from Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda, right?
Yeah, no, it's too much of a scapegoat. Of course, they would say something like that to use a scapegoat.
There's the other conspiracy I know Black Dragon did say. Some people believe there's no way the building should have collapsed unless they did, a demolition job to bring it down.
Actually, he did talk about that as well. He
Oh,
talked
damn,
about
he beat me to it.
he beat you to because you disappeared for a while. We couldn't get you back on here. He talked about the thermite residue that was
Yeah.
found on there. I mean,
I was going to say that.
there were definitely some compelling videos.
Did he talk about the Pentagon? I got another one.
Master Debating Monkey brought on the Pentagon. But, try to bring your information. Let's get some of your perspective. Always like other perspectives, so let's hear it.
Okay. So basically, you know how the official story is that, the plane crashed into the Pentagon. How come there's there's hardly any wreckage? If you look at any other plane crash, there's millions of pieces, there's body parts, there's evidence. Some people believe there's a missile.
Well, I personally think because it's such a secretive building, because it houses the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, MDMA, according that's the
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security didn't exist till after 9/11, so you can't even say that. FEMA, but not to mention the aliens, the MIB, and everybody else. Yes, that is a part of that. So.
Wait a minute, the MIB, you mean Men in Black? Is that a joke?
No, that's the truth.
Well, I guess they are Men in Black, but yeah.
So you're saying that there is obviously photos of the Pentagon, but they won't show up for security reasons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to ever give us any information about the Pentagon because that's a secret building, and even though they have surveillance and stuff like that, they don't want to give away their secrets, so they're not going to show anything other than what what the news had, stuff like that. And there were obviously videos that get doctored, and we're just never going to know the truth. But the one thing that the government has is the government has this clause that says after 50 years they can tell the truth. And now when Kennedy was shot, it's been 50 years, right? That was what, 1960, 63, 62, 61, 60. When was Kennedy shot? Look, one of you guys
JFK
on your Google
assassination date. Hold on, I'm doing it.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Appreciate it.
Assassination of John F. Kennedy date. Oh, what the hell? Okay, I gotta take my beats off. Hold on.
Okay.
JFK assassination date.
It happened November
1963. November 22nd.
Okay, 19. And how long has it been? 2020.
Getting close to 60 years now, so it's been like 57 years now.
Right now, 50 years passed, and all this. Do you know that when douchebag here became president, the dictator that we currently have, he opened up a lot of secrets. He got the Kennedy assassination files and all the conspiracy to be brought to to the humans, to us. That's one thing he did right.
They should have started talking about it back in 2013 because.
But they have been talking about it for the last 10 years. They have been talking about it and saying that they think that one of the shooters had discharged his weapon by accident, wow, that meter just came down over there. I gotta go look at that. They say that one of the security guys, not security, but one of the guys that were protecting the president in a car behind him was holding an M16, and they said that they went over a bump, and he discharged his weapon and it killed the president. So, and then of course, while he was on his deathbed, sometime in 2017 or 2018, he said that he killed the president. Now, can we believe him? We don't know 100%. What's true. If we pulled up information, let's say look up on your Google bot, current conspiracy theories on the Kennedy assassination.
Current
Look up
conspiracy theories about JFK.
Yeah, see what pops up for that.
John F. Kennedy.
5 JFK conspiracy theories people still believe 50 years after.
Let's hear it.
Hold on.
Make sure you give source to wherever you you found that information. So
I
we
got
can
it
see.
from. It's this website called townandcountrymag.com.
Okay.
Oh man, okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm not gonna read all these paragraphs, but one is
Sum it
they
up.
believe. Okay, so basically, one conspiracy is that the mob killed him. You know what the mob is, right? You know the mafia.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
government did it. Ted Cruz's father was somehow involved. You know who Ted Cruz is, right?
That I don't know. I don't know who Ted Cruz. I know who Ted Cruz is.
Ted
Ted
Cruz, the
Cruz.
candidate.
I
You know
realize.
Ted Cruz?
No, I realize that. But
Yeah, his dad.
why did they say his father was involved? Was he CIA?
This is what it says. This is a relatively new one. During the 2016 president election, then candidate Trump implied that his fellow Republican candidate Ted Cruz's father was a known associate of Lee Harvey Oswald. His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald being, shot. Trump said on Fox News during a phone interview. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. What is this? What is this? Right? Prior to his being shot, nobody even brings it up. I mean, they don't even talk about it. That was reported and nobody talks about it.
Hmm. Well, it does not make any sense at all unless unless Ted Cruz's father was Secret Service or was a mafioso.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, my bad. My mic died.
No, I hear you. It's just a bunch of noise on the master debating monkey side.
They also believe somebody that was with near JFK had an umbrella that had a gun in it somehow. I mean, there's a whole bunch.
Right. Now, I mean, but see, there were people that were filming from all different angles. And all those films got confiscated. Just like every time there is some type of mystery, there's like the Vegas shooting. All those people had cell phones and video cameras. And there were some people that leaked stuff to the internet. And then there were people that had to give up their cell phones and video cameras. Because at one time they said there were multiple shooters. And then they narrowed it down to just one guy shooting multiple guns at the same time out several I mean, that Vegas shooting was so convoluted. But there has been so many different things, so many different scenarios that have happened where everyone has a cell phone nowadays. So they're up. Even during Rodney King beating back in the 90s, before we had the internet, the Rodney King beating was being filmed by people in their house with a video camera. And they had leaked that to the internet before there was YouTube, before there was MySpace, before there was Facebook, before there were any of those things. You still had other applications on the basic internet at the time. I mean, the internet's been around since the 60s, but mostly for government or big time agencies. We as civilians, unless you had a very wealthy doctor in your family that had access to having that type of internet, irregardless of that, things were leaked to the news. Like the Rodney King beating was leaked to the news. That's why there were so many people that watched it the one night, and then eventually it became the court case and stuff. But people nowadays always carry cell phones and cameras with them to catch anything that flies by in the sky that doesn't look right, anything that happens to happen, be it a murder, a suicide, a crash, a public person, an artist that walks by, an actor. Somebody's always filming. In fact, it's gotten to the point now. There was a whole time before the TV show Big Brother came out. There was a whole time in the 80s and early 90s that the whole thing was when they started putting closed circuit TV, surveillance cameras on every building, on every street, inside every supermarket or whatever, that we're being watched at all times. And the fact is people are always like, for instance, like I went to karaoke the other night, and there were 3 people while I was up there singing and making a fool out of myself. There were 3 people that were aiming their phones at me, Now, I did not give them permission to take pictures of me or videos of me or upload me to YouTube saying, "Look at this retard with Down syndrome trying to sing karaoke." I mean,
Oh
but
man.
that's the thing is nowadays you have to expect, you have to assume, you have to know that you are being watched everywhere. Your cell
Oh yeah,
phone, when you
I did
shut
that
it
for
off at night,
years.
right? When you shut your cell phone off at night, it turns itself back on. It listens to everything you say. Shit, when I was just the other day, like I was talking about getting some new car insurance for my car. I had my phone shut off. Now everybody and their fucking mother won't stop calling me. Are you looking to get the best quote for your car insurance? Every time I turn the internet on my phone, I get a fucking ad popping up for car insurance. This
Hey,
shit is out of control.
hey, listen, I get what you're saying, but I also did research about that. Assuming there's no conspiracy involved, I actually have an answer why when you look up on the internet, you keep getting those type of ads. The official answer is because you know how internet providers they sell your data.
Right.
Well, that the people that they're selling to are companies like that, and they know that you're trying to get new insurance. That's basically the official answer. Now, do I believe the government's watching everybody 100%? Yeah. But when it comes to companies, they're only interested in one thing, and that's to make money off of you.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
their primary goal is to control the population. So they're going to do it in many ways. They're going to do it by advertisement. They're going to do it by the news. They're going to do it by media. They're going to be doing it in a lot of different ways.
Every time you go on the internet, assume somebody's watching. Every time you call somebody on your phone, assume somebody's listening in to see what you're talking about. I mean, we've been like that since 9/11. Big Brother's always watching.
It's always watching.
Actually, it's a proven fact. If me and you would call each other, there's a program at every cell phone providers that basically types down what you're saying to each other. But the difference between like me and you just having a regular conversation and like a terrorist is that terrorists are saying like certain words like bomb and blow up. Once you start saying weird words like that, that's when they start sending your messages to the CIA, NSA. I learned that one in my
Just
security
imagine,
class.
right? Yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to we haven't talked about your security class in a couple of weeks, so I want to delve into that again. But before we get into that, now I just lost my train of thought. Talk about your security class until I can figure out what the fuck I was thinking.
Well, I took this one class. We learned about how how hackers they're able to break into your accounts and how they get into government accounts. We had to learn that to just for my degree because we're expected to know how the hackers do it, so that when you go work for these security companies, you could help probably hopefully help find solutions to stop those. Yep.
Hmm.
And the biggest thing I took away from that stupid class was that believe it or not, most hackers they're not even interested in stealing your stuff. If they had a choice between stealing from you and stealing from a billionaire, they would try to go after the billionaire first. Now, I'm not saying like they won't try to steal your credit card information or anything like that, but they want to go after the billionaires to get lots of money fast.
Well, I mean, obviously that makes sense. I mean, I don't have billions of dollars. What would they need to steal from me?
The only thing they probably would steal from you or me would be our social security numbers, so that they can open up a whole bunch of accounts and shit.
But they've already said that. This was just on the news, what, 3 or 4 days ago? About 150 million social security accounts were compromised through one of these random companies here. Just recently, that shit just happened. 150 million out of the I don't know how many billion are on the planet at the moment. Probably doesn't mean a whole much. 150 million out of how many billion are on the planet? Okay. All right, what's going on here? Why are you guys not producing? Okay, you got your battery there. I'm trying to get this planet-based to cooperate, but having a serious fucking tough time. I don't get it why. Put your damn power on. Alright. What button was it? No. No. Stats. We are not doing very good. We're doing terrible.
You know, there's some classified documents about, Martin Luther King that they still won't release.
What would you suggest they are?
Well, some of them that we know about that has been declassified is that they were spying on him. So, what we know so far is that Martin Luther King, even though he was trying to get rid of all the minorities, like equal rights and all that, he had a double life. He was cheating on his wife a lot, and they were hoping before he got shot, of course, that if he ever became a threat, he would have leaked that shit out to the whole country that he cheated on his wife with 40 different women, and that's just some of the stuff we know about it. There's still some crazy classified stuff that they won't release because it's shameful. Because they admitted that they only spied on him because he was trying to end racism and all that. So they did it for racism. They didn't do it because he was a threat to national security. They wanted to get rid of his ass.
Okay. There's actually some more conspiracies saying that Martin Luther King wasn't assassinated by the person they say assassinated him. Like, they say that the person that assassinated Martin Luther King wasn't even in the right proximity to where he was shot. Like, if he was shot in the gut, in the lower front left of his gut, but the guy was standing behind him and too far away. So they're saying a lot of things, like the assassination of Robert Kennedy was not done by Sirhan Sirhan, because Sirhan Sirhan wasn't even in the country at the time. There's a lot of new information coming out about old conspiracies. What I need to do is I wish I had an internet bot, but you've got an internet bot. Let me see if I can pull that information up.
There's a conspiracy that during World War II, the United States knew Pearl Harbor was coming, but let it happen.
Oh, there was actually I don't know if you remember what movie that was. Not the one with Ben Affleck. That was crap, Pearl Harbor. But there was a movie that came out that talked about the whole Pearl Harbor incident, and the guy that originally knew that it was going to happen was a psychic. And he had a prophecy that it was going to happen, and he tried to tell the government that this was going to happen, and no one would believe him.
Oh, man.
New conspiracies. I'd like to think that I had a prophecy of 9/11, but a lot of people had a prophecy of 9/11 before it happened. I mean, for me, it was weird because I used to have a lot of prophetic dreams. Like I would wake up and I would feel there would be real bad shaking, and I would think there was an earthquake, but it wasn't an earthquake. And then I'll flip on the news and hear that there was an earthquake in a foreign country, but around the same time I had, like for instance, remember when we were talking the other day when Kobe crashed, when the helicopter crashed?
Yeah.
And I told you at that exact moment that helicopter crashed, I was awake and I was watching YouTube videos on plane and helicopter crashes. And what was weird was I originally was watching one of my videos, and then a thing popped up saying, for some reason when I clicked it at one time, the Flight Channel, which is a channel on YouTube that's how they piece together with flight simulation programs, actual aircraft crashes. Like I was watching the aircraft, the what was it, the Malaysian flights. The Malaysian flights that crashed, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I was watching like that on the Flight Channel of how it crashed, how it disappeared. It turns out the pilot had committed suicide and took everyone with him. That's what they think after the new information had come out. But I was watching that stuff like for some reason like 8 in the morning. I just couldn't sleep, or I woke up early or whatever. I had an appointment that day. I don't remember. It was a Sunday, so I got up early and I started watching my own YouTube program, one of my Real Talks, and then I saw something come in the news feed. Watch what happened to the Malaysian flight, whatever. So I clicked on that and started watching that, and then of course I started watching helicopter crashes and airplane crashes and all this. And all of a sudden my aunt calls me and says Kobe Bryant just died in a helicopter crash. Coincidence, I guess, right? I guess coincidence. That's paranormal,
Yeah.
right? Coincidences like that.
If I was like a little kid in 1993 when let's say I was like 10 years old when the bombing of the Twin Towers happened, I would have totally probably said to you that if a terrorist is going to target this building for the sake of it being a trade center, it's going to probably happen again. Now that doesn't mean I'm psychic. It just means I made a good educated guess. When I say good, I mean there's nothing good about 9/11. What I'm trying to say is, I was right, that my educated guess was right. So I mean, I just think it's coincidence that when you were looking that up, his helicopter crash.
Right.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if I was like 10 back then. I mean, would it be shocking that my theory came true? Yeah, but I mean, it's just coincidence because how would I known that they would have came back to finish the job?
Exactly. I mean, the difference between, say, coincidences and conspiracy theories. I mean, for instance, like my thing with 9/11 was my buddy and I was driving my buddy, was going to be turning 21. I figured the best place to take him on his 21st birthday would be to Vegas. So we had plans. We had set up that we were going to stay at the what's that Pyramid Hotel? I forgot what the Pyramid Hotel is.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
Right. So we were going to stay at the Pyramid Hotel. We had tickets to go see the Blue Man Group. We had tickets to go see, I think 38 Special was in concert at the time out there. So I got tickets for that. He loved the Blue Man Group. He thought it was the greatest thing in the world. So I got tickets for the Blue Man Group. We were going to go see Elvis. We're going to hit the buffet, hit the casino. So we decided to drive the night before 9/11. So we decided to drive on the 10th, and we were driving from LA to Vegas, which is like 7 hours. And I made the trip. I drove the whole way. And I said, as we were getting into Vegas, it was literally about 2 hours before the first plane crashed. And I said, hey man, let's I'm hella wicked tired. Before we get to the hotel, let's just stop over at the Howard Johnson's, sleep a few hours, get a shower, and then we'll go in. And he's like, yeah, sounds totally fine. So we get in, we get a room at the Howard Johnson's, which is just a little cheapy kind of motel, just right at the base of Vegas. I take a shower, I hop into bed, I go to sleep. Now, right before the first airplane crashed into New York, here I am in Las Vegas, Nevada. How many thousands of miles away from New York City? I don't know. More than 2,000, I would assume, or maybe 2,000. I don't know. And I wake up just freaking out, and my buddy's sitting up. He's not watching TV, but he's sitting up doing whatever he's doing. And I'm like, Aaron, dude. You know what the weirdest thing is? I could probably get him into this audio party to confirm it, but I said, I just had the craziest fucking dream. He goes, I know, you always have the craziest fucking dreams. Because I always told Aaron my crazy dreams. He was my buddy at the time. I used to tell him all my crazy dreams about tidal waves and earthquakes and shit like that literally happened a few minutes. I said, dude, I just had the craziest fucking dream that airplanes were crashing into buildings in New York City. And he's like, all right, well, let's flip on the news and see what's going on. This was like literally 10 minutes before the first plane crash hit, right? We flip on the news. There's nothing going on in the news, just normal news. They're talking about whatever's going on in Vegas and stuff. And then, we're sitting there, we let it go. And we're like, whatever. Okay, just leave the TV on and we'll get dressed. We'll get ready to go over to the next hotel. And while the TV's going, they have the breaking in. This is breaking news. The plane hit the World Trade Center. My buddy and I looked at each other. We turned white as ghosts. And just, He's like, dude, you are the fucking devil, is what he said to me. So, coincidence? Prophetic dream? Let me check and see if he's online.
The plane that flew into his building, it creates a monster fireball. How do you think he survived that big ass fireball? Not just that, but the explosion.
The fact that the wing passed by his office?
Yeah, like imagine sitting in an office at work, and a wing goes by you, and then there's the big ass explosion. How could a human survive that?
Right, unless I mean, I don't know too much about physics, but it's entirely possible that through whatever mathematical equation and physics, and as fast as that thing was going, and where the fireball was at the time, it may not have been near him. I mean, it's entirely. Look at plane crashes in general, at plane crashes that hit freeways, and why they don't hit every single car. Why that only 1 or 3 or 8 specific cars get hit. Why does that happen? Why? I don't know. We don't know. Maybe
that's not a conspiracy question. I would just
no. Maybe he's a guardian angel. Maybe he was saved by a guardian angel.
It's the fact that the plane flew in, blew up. Everybody around him got probably vaporized, but he was just lucky enough to walk away from it. I mean, he was all cut up and everything, but the fact that he survived the fireball alone is crazy.
That is pretty weird.
It is, because if you've been in any high-rise building, those floors are all straight, and you would think the fireball would go in all directions on the floors. So you would think he would have been burnt to a crisp by that fireball. But then again, he said before the plane crashed, he's seen it coming, and he ducked under his desk. But a wooden desk shouldn't protect you like that.
I don't know. I mean, we had a pretty nasty earthquake, and I hid under a desk the whole time while buildings around me literally pancaked into the parking garage below, and somehow that desk saved my life. Here, let me interject real quickly. Several online stories inaccurately claim that the new coronavirus contains HIV insertions and shows signs of being created in a lab, but there is no evidence that a new virus was bioengineered, and every indication it came from an animal. But it's a virus, and if it came from an animal, how did the animal get the virus? Was it injected by a human that made the virus? It's the same, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, obviously the egg came first.
Yeah, I can only imagine how people feel over there, because it's kind of like a apocalyptic feel is kind of what it feels like. So many people are getting infected with this.
Right, and how many billions of people are in China, and how many only hundreds have been? Whether it's a pandemic or it's a full-blown epidemic is another thing. If you have 1 billion people in China and only 100 people are infected, that's like, come on, 100 people out of 1 billion people? That's hardly a pandemic or an epidemic. And if it's isolated.
It is isolated, and then even that is like, a lot of people think it's a really big thing now, which of course it is on the media. That much is true, but
look at how
your average flu kills 180,000 people a year. So I mean, the flu is causing more havoc than this is.
Right. So, but let's go back to all the past. SARS. Remember SARS? Mad cow disease. Remember mad cow disease? These things come and go. They're just a part of being on this planet. I would think that a lot of people, not most people, but I would say that a lot of people feel that we're viruses on the Earth. Because before us, there were more animals on this planet. We consume so many resources as humans that we have to kill other races in order to get their resources. That's a pandemic. That's an epidemic. Human beings on planet Earth is an epidemic.
They actually
I
bring
think
that
that's
up.
history repeating itself.
They actually
Well,
bring that up in the Matrix. I know that has nothing to do with real life, but the machines in the Matrix, in the machines in the Matrix says to the one character, humans are a disease. You use up all your resources in one area, and then you go to another, and then once you use up all that resources, you go to another until there's nothing left. Yep. So I do think we're responsible for many animals dying, but it's also our government's fault because they don't control the population and everything.
Well, technically, genocide is a population. Get rid of her. I don't know what word I'm thinking of.
It's genocide, right? It's like mass genocide. Like everybody's killed off purposely.
Yeah. That's killing people.
That's when countries kill off a whole bunch of people to stabilize the ecology, I guess, on the planet. They kill a whole bunch of people. They release a virus that wipes out. I mean, they say by 2030 the Earth will be dominated by humans. There'll be no more resources. Hell, we're already at 2020 right now. That's 10 more years. That shit's gonna fly by in a human life. So they need to throw out a couple of viruses every once in a while to stabilize everything. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want it to happen to me, but the reality is eventually it's going to come our way.
Yeah, I mean, truly, we're not supposed to be here forever. That much is for sure. We're gonna take ourselves out eventually.
Eventually, we have to because, I mean, we have to. I don't know.
My history teacher used to say to me, the main reason why NASA's trying so hard to find another planet like Earth is because they know we're gonna nuke each other, nuke us, we're all gonna nuke the whole world, a nuclear war.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna be the cause of our own apocalypse. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
How it's gonna happen? I can believe what the Bible says. It says we're gonna end the fire this time. That is true. We're probably gonna nuke each other.
Now, is that Nostradamus or is that actually what the Bible says?
Well, it's partially what it says, but I mean, of course, a lot of people talk about it as well.
I think the Bible does say something about fire for the whole planet or something like that. I heard of that.
Yeah, it's in Revelations. I can't remember what part of it. I had to go look at the book again.
Describe the Bible to me. Do you think the Bible is just another coffee table shelf book, or do you would you say it's 100% fact?
No, because the Bible has been passed around for thousands of years, and over the course of 1,000 years, I can basically guarantee that the Bible is not right word for word. Maybe some of the general ideas are there, but I don't believe it's accurate.
But here's the thing. How would the Bible predict that we might nuke each other? I know it doesn't say nuke, it just says fire. But it kind of makes sense because we do have a weapon that turns entire cities to, glass and fire. Fire.
Yeah. I
mean, that could be a conspiracy right there. They knew thousands of years earlier that we wouldn't destroy ourselves.
Is that one of the ways that the government controls the people? Do they create a book that, a mass majority of people believe? So, I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, I have personally long believed that religion was created by the government to control people. Because when you bring a religion, people start to be good, they don't want to do evil.
Take a picture of Dexy and try to draw her.
Ooh.
What does your child think about the Bible? Have you trained your child?
No, I just beat my children. That's it.
Dad, he's dead.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Dad.
What? What do you want?
Do you know where your old phone is, Dad?
Come here. What's that? Oh, thank you. Go ahead and let the puppy in.
Good luck, Rusty. Oh, come here. Wait, where's your chum? Where's my chum?
Here, I got mics real quick, so it's not so loud.
What do you have like? Oh, that's right. You have like 37 kids, right?
No, just two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I just bought a puppy recently, so it's gonna be a little loud.
You bought a puppy? Why didn't you go to the pound and get a puppy?
Say what?
Why didn't you just go to like the pound and get a puppy?
That's exactly what I did.
You went to the pound or you went to the store? I couldn't hear you.
I went to the animal care shelter because I got a rescue puppy.
Oh, cool. There you go. That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some loud kids.
I'll be right back.
All right. And put some duct tape over those children's mouths. They're extremely loud.
Will do.
Thank you. Just kidding. I would never suggest that. Of course I would.
What are you, some sort of sadist?
No, but I play one on TV. I'm curious on what happened to the midget panda. She said she was going to be back a while ago, and the panda... Where did the panda go? Where is the panda? Chip Dip tried to get the panda in the audio party.
Oh, I can't make somebody join if they don't want to join.
Well, I mean, you can send an invite, though. I don't want to keep leaving the stream to send an invite. You know, if I don't have to leave the stream. I'm having a tough time trying to get this base working. I don't understand. Why are we having such problems here, people? I can't build anything else for you people. I have no metal. You have to produce the metal for me.
You know what else my history teacher suggested? You know how people believe that Earth is constantly being visited by aliens? He said that he thinks that the aliens are not aliens, they're us, but from the future, but from a future where, like, because there's so much pollution and all of that, we mutated ourselves into those, gray aliens with the big black eyes and little, little arms and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What type of teacher is this?
He was my history teacher.
He didn't get arrested, did he?
No.
He's still around?
Yeah, he's still around. He was a good teacher. He was the best teacher in the whole school. Yeah, but he has some crazy theories.
I mean, it's kind of good to have a teacher that's open-minded, because so many teachers are closed-minded, and that's a shame. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look who it is. It's a masturbating panda. I'm sorry, a master debating panda is what I called her earlier today.
Hello!
Halo! I can see your halo! Panda, you obviously went to high school, and did you go to college at all? Or junior college? Didn't go to anything? Just after high school, went straight to work?
Basically.
Okay. Do you remember any of your high school teachers?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of them being open-minded?
Yes.
Any particular teacher stick out to you?
No.
Alrighty then.
Why?
Well, because, I mean, it's, Chimp Dimp has a teacher that has some wild conspiracy theories, and I think that's cool, which means that teacher's open-minded. However, unless that teacher was to say something like, well, you may think it's a conspiracy theory, but I think it's the truth, and I think it's fact, and I don't care what anyone else says, then that would mean that that teacher was not open-minded. Correct?
Right.
Are you home now, Midget Panda?
I am home now, yes.
Okay. So what did the girl say when she came back? Oh.
She didn't really say anything. I'm babysitting for her tomorrow.
I'm going to be taking a shower.
How are you now? You going to bring the microphone in there with you?
Nah, I'll be back. Don't worry.
All right. He's going to be taking a shower, Panda. What do you think about that?
Cool.
Alrighty then.
I'm going to do the dishes.
You're gonna do
So we
the
can have dishes tonight.
Get paper plates.
They cost more money.
True. Fabricate your own plates. You don't have a pottery wheel? Start making your own pottery and buy a kiln. Why do you need plates? Just eat with your hands. Your hands are perfect plates.
Because what I'm eating is it has to be cut up.
Okay, you can't use your hands to cut things up?
No.
Damn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, sandstorm. Sandstorm! What do I do?
What are you playing?
I'm playing this game called Planet Base, and it's a city building game like your little Sims on your phone. You have to build up a city and try to keep everyone happy and make sure they're working and stay alive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And right now we're on a planet that's similar to Mars, and we have to survive.
Nice.
And right now we're going through a major storm on this planet. And I'm trying to not let my people die.
I'm trying to not let the PlayStation die on me.
Why is you not have the power hooked up?
I mean, I'm like my headset. I'm a little bit far away from it.
Okay.
I'm in my kitchen and I'm playing it in my room, or well, our room.
Oh, I see.
Really?
You're not playing on 1013's PlayStation?
I'm not playing in the living room.
Are you able to text 1013, or is he all work and no play?
I can text him, yeah.
I want you to text him a message. I want you to see what his response is.
Oh God.
And then I want you to read his response.
Okay.
Text him and say, does he believe that 9/11 was a conspiracy?
I think we actually had the conversation, him and I.
Yeah.
And okay, hold on. I'm opening my door, let me close my door before I say what he believes. I think he thinks it was kind of like a setup. Not exactly like a conspiracy theory, but like I think he thinks
well, I mean, not conspiracy theory is not the
that like people knew it was going to happen, basically. Like it was an insider job. That's what. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, but conspiracy wouldn't work there. This is your thought. This is your thought. This is an idea of what you think happened. Your hypothesis.
I think it was an inside job. I think someone inside one of the towers knew that it was going to happen.
Okay. And what led you to believe this, or to come up with this thought?
I don't know. I just like things I've read, which I don't remember now.
Okay.
But like things I've read, it just kind of seems that way.
And he seems to think the same way, similar as you, correct?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Alrighty. Why are you guys not building the space here?
So today my apartment complex was giving away pizza and treats and stuff, and I missed all of it.
Because you were babysitting?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And why was this for 10 hours? Or 11 hours?
Because she worked. She works where I work. And so,
Well, who watches the babies normally?
I think her dad, or like her mom, but her mom's, away for work.
She paying you or no?
I think so.
You think so?
That's what she said. I don't know how much though.
Huh. She can't bring said children to work with her?
Mm-mm.
This is
Oh,
just a
God,
movie.
no.
This is just a movie theater.
It's a movie theater slash restaurant.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Huh. This is the longest night I've ever spent on this planet. Already gave you morning pad permissions. I need more people, of course. Alright, so we have no metal still. We need to get some more metal, people. Get to work. Get to work and get us some more metal. Why is there nobody working in here? Makes me think that, Alright, so we have no metal, but we have the material to make metal. Now, the only other thing I need... So I'm gonna need some, let's see here. First of all, I need people working, and I don't know why I can't get people to work. Why are there nobody working in the mine shaft?
Uh-oh.
There's nobody in the hospital. There's nobody in the sick bay.
Oh my god.
What did you break?
So my cat,
Okay.
I'm playing The Sims, and she's watching the cursor.
Nice. There's a robot. There's a robot.
Inventory. I have nothing in my inventory.
Where are my people? Where are my people at? I got one guy right here.
So I just bought a lot.
A lot of what?
A land in Sims.
Oh, in the Sims, okay.
Oh, build mode. I guess I could have put it into build mode. Ah, there we go.
What is happening here? Why is this thing not getting any...
Live mode. Oh, build.
Build.
Walls. I'm gonna build walls, right?
Okay.
This is so confusing. Half walls, walls, and empty rooms. Okay. I don't necessarily want that to be my whole house. Because I can just add to it if I choose to do so.
My plants are growing. Okay. My people are eating. I can't build a bedroom for these people. Collecting water. Finally became daytime. Oh, look at the reflection off of here. Oh, that's super cool. Wow. Look at the reflection off of this. Oh, that is super neato. Did a really good job with that reflection off the solar panels. We need metal, and we can't build anything. We can't build any labs. We can't build anything until we start getting some metal. I don't understand what is happening. Why is this not producing metal? Processing plant component where a worker can turn ore into metal. Got it. This one's working.
Is there a way that I can just have a flat roof, or is that just not possible?
In other Sims games, it's definitely possible. In The Sims 4, is that what you're playing?
Yeah.
Sims 4, I can't figure out Sims 4. I almost uninstalled it. I can't figure it out.
My cat loves it though.
Of course, it's little people on this little movement on the screen enough to get the cat going.
Oh, here we go.
My robots are about to die.
Alrighty, I got myself a house.
You got a house,
Alright,
man?
let's get the door done. Should I do?
Is there
I'm gonna do it.
Is there a master debating
Medium
monkey
door.
still with us?
We gotta do it tall. We gotta do some.
Now the deer slayer left before you came on. Are you not
What?
playing with the deer slayer?
No, I am not playing with Deer Slayer.
Okie dokie pokey.
We done put a door in there. We gonna put the door right there. And then we're probably gonna put another door. Why the fuck? Why's my door? Why is it open? I can't have no damn open. That looks like it's a bathroom.
Twangy McTwangerton.
We gonna do the damn thing.
What other, you don't have any ghosts, you said you don't have any ghosts at your house. You ever had a ghost in the movie theater?
Yes.
Tell me about that ghost.
I don't know.
Well,
It
then
was just...
Just what?
I mean, it was a ghost.
Did you see it? Was it on the surveillance camera? Did someone tell you about it?
Someone was telling us about it.
Were they telling you this to freak you out, or what?
Probably.
But you've never experienced this said ghost?
No.
Have you
Not personally.
ever experienced a ghost?
At my school.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you see at your school?
There was a ghost that was in our attic.
Are you in an old school, like an old school little schoolhouse?
It was
Or in
like a
big
church.
school?
It was like a
school?
church. Yeah.
Okay, and what did you hear? Like rats up in the ceiling, or
We
squirrels?
don't know.
Or...
We were on a kind of doing a what do you call it? A lock-in, and we went up to the attic where we weren't supposed to be. And
What were you locking? What were you doing for the lock-in? What was?
It was just supposed to be for fun.
This is like a haunted house, or was this supposed to be a lock-in because you were trying to fight for
No, it
better
was a
city
lock-in
lunches
at my
or
school. It was just a lock-in at my school. Like, we were just having fun. So it was like a kind of like a for fun thing, and we hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. We were playing a game, and we knew that we were gonna hunt for ghosts during the game, and so we did, and we saw a whole bunch of orbs like in the camera. Get out of building mode. Live mode. Okay.
And did you see said ghost?
Yeah, we just saw orbs, but we didn't actually see a real life ghost.
You saw orbs. Could they have? You saw this in the camera?
Mhm.
Hmm. Okay. Do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? Yeah.
Is this the only time you ever experienced said ghost?
Mhm. Yes.
So nothing else, nothing ever when you were growing up?
No.
What about 1013? Has he ever experienced ghosts?
I don't really know.
He's never discussed it with you?
We've never really talked about that.
What about the previous, your ex?
Oh God, no. He didn't believe in any of that shit.
He was a skeptic?
Yeah. He most certainly was.
Damn the man, save the empire. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to do this. Tomorrow is February 14th. Tomorrow
Yes,
is
it is.
Valentine's Day.
Also
Tomorrow
your birthday.
is my birthday. Tomorrow is Free for All Friday. So I don't know what kind of show is going to happen on tomorrow's show. It could be a real hoot. Or I may say, you know what? We're not having it. But either way, we always want you to participate in Real Talk Chimp. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion, you could email me or us at realtalkchimp@gmail.com. If you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatever those social medias are, that's also Real Talk Chimp. And then on Twitch and YouTube, it's Real Talk Chimp. So check this out.
Thank you for tuning into Paranormal Thursday with your host Rabbit Chip 805 on Real Talk, streaming live YouTube and Twitch. Real Talk Chimp. Make sure you subscribe and follow us for Paranormal Thursday, hosted by Rabbit Chip 805 on Real Talk.
I'm Rabbit Chimp 805 saying thank you for joining us today on the Paranormal Thursday for February 13th, 2020. Midget Panda 815 always catches us the last moment of the show. Chimp Dimp was here. So was Black Dragon Ruler was here with some titillating, tantalizing tidbits of the private genitalia. He was on here for a short moment of time. We heard Deerslayer's voice. We had a master debating monkey. And I'm pretty sure that was it. So catch us tomorrow for Free for All Friday, the Valentine's Day special. Alrighty then. We'll catch you on the flip side from Planet Base and the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4? Is that like a plastic PlayStation? Well, it is plastic. From the PlayStation 4, I'm Rabbit Chimp 805, and we'll catch you on the flip side.